I always thank you folks for assembling on short notice, and same thing today. Colton Orr cleared waivers at noon. We just received notification from the National Hockey League, and I didn't sleep. I don't think 2 hours the night before last, knowing I was going to meet with Colton and talk to him. My admiration for this kid just knows no limits. This is a wonderful young man, and now he's cleared, so we got to get him back to the Marlies and get him playing, and try and get his game back and see where he can maybe help us later in the season. I do wonder where we're going with this, though. I do wonder where our game is going. When I know the Greenpeace folks will be happy with this, but I wonder where we're going, where Brendan Shanahan's got 6 hearings every 2 days, and you see the garbage that happened in here the other night. And I wonder the accountability in our game and the notion that players would stick up for themselves and for each other. I wonder where we're going with it. That's the only lament I have on this, is that the fear that if we don't have guys looking after each other, that the Rats will take this game over. Because that's my fear. I see guys that run around and start stuff and won't back it up, and it makes me sick to my stomach. Questions?
Brian? Sorry, are you suggesting that the game doesn't have room anymore for people like Colton Orr?
Well, I think what's happened is you make it's almost like you're adding up assets on a sheet and saying what Colton provides, does that provide the same benefit as a guy who can skate maybe better than he can? And we've done it. We made the decision here. He hasn't played much here, so I'm not excluding us from this remark. I wonder where we're going with it, though. Like I do, I wonder. Players always, in the old days, they protected themselves, and then it evolved into players protecting their teammates. And now I'm not sure who's looking after it other than Brendan Shanahan. So to me, it's a dangerous turn in our game. It's not insignificant to me that this happened today.
How do you think you get back on track?
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I think the game we provide now, the game that the National Hockey League plays, the best it's ever been since we opened our doors for business. It's fast, it's exciting, but I don't know. I just look at it. I just don't see accountability or respect in the game right now. It really troubles me.
Is there not a way to police it better?
Well, I guess Brendan Shanahan. And there are some middleweights who fight, and I respect those guys. They're not the Rats. They're middleweights who fight and back up their teammates. But just disturbed watching the games the last week and where we're going with this.
What was most alarming?
You name your poison. Pick one of the suspensions. And so to me, do those guys do those things if there's retribution available, if there's accountability in the game? I'm not so sure. So maybe it's just a rant that the game's going in a direction I don't like, but I'm troubled by this. When a player with the character of Colton Orr, when he can't contribute in this league, then I'm not sure I like the way it's going.
Was one of the problems Colton faced there weren't other guys to fight him, basically?
Yeah, that's part of the problem. It's hard to, again, like I said to Rosie, you add things up, you say, okay, we're going to go into this game with the roster that gives us the best chance to win. And if there's no dance partner for Colton, it's pretty hard to not be able to say, well, Darryl Boyce gives us more on a given night, or whoever, Joey Crabb. And that's, so again, we've made the same judgment, so I'm not throwing stones as much as saying don't like where it's going.
Has the game gotten too fast, do you think?
Well, I think that's going to be I think that's going to be the central focus of the GM meeting in March, has the game gotten too fast? And I think there's a tendency in our game to overreact and say, well, we got to put the red line back in and slow it down, or we got to allow defensemen to pick. And I'm not there yet. I think the game is wonderful right now. I really do. I love the game that the league is putting on right now, and I think our fans love it. So I'm not ready to say let's slow it down. I don't have an answer for you today other than to say, that phone call to Colton 3 minutes ago wasn't much fun, telling me it cleared.
Is that not just a sign that the game's kind of evolved?
If you want a game where guys can cheap shot people and not face retribution, I'm not sure that's a healthy evolution. The speed of the game, I love how the game's evolved in terms of how it's played, but you're seeing where there is no accountability. This is the byproduct, is people running around that won't back it up.
Does this mean we're going to have another instigator discussion?
I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. If I had the answer, it'd be a longer press conference.
And, just to clarify, you're not criticizing Brendan in all this. You're thinking he's the only guy that's really...
No. I think he's, what I'm saying is I think he's got a lot more work than he should have. He needs a telephone receptionist in his house because all this crap that's going on the ice. These guys that won't back it up, won't drop their gloves, run around, elbow people in the head, people from behind, and there's no accountability. They never have to answer for that in the game. They used to have to answer for that in the game. The players police the game. And now it's Brendan Shanahan. I'm not being critical of Brendan one bit. It's whining more than anything because it's not good. What's happening, that part of what's happening, the product's great, but that part of it is not good. It's not good where players, you used to think if you were going to cheap shot a guy, you had to fight him or fight someone else on his team who was tougher than he was. And that seems to be gone right now. So there's no checks and balances. Well, I'll just elbow the guy in the head. I'll just run him from behind. And as the guys that won't fight, they don't have to answer for it. You saw what happened here in the building the other night. Steve Downey going after Dion Phaneuf. I mean, that's where it's going, and it's not good.
We love a good game as